Hello to everyone at the SLA virtual conference. I'm Smriti Halls and I'm so disappointed not to be joining you at the real conference this year. I was so much looking forward to delivering the after dinner speech and I was hoping to have the opportunity to meet many of you. I hope we'll have the chance on another occasion soon. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you today about how it feels to be writing about some of the big issues of our time and helping children to navigate their way through them. And I've got some notes here, I hope you don't mind, but they're going to keep me on track and make sure that I don't go waffling on for too long. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Smriti and my name is sometimes a bit of a tongue twister to some people. So I just want to reassure you that it is not difficult to say, and please don't worry about mispronouncing it, just have a go. If it helps, I always say that it rhymes with pretty and witty, also intelligent, beautiful, any other compliment you want to give, and if you remember that, you won't go wrong. So I'm the author of many picture books, hopefully some of which you'll know, but most recently I am responsible for Elephant in My Kitchen with Ella Oxstad, a laugh out loud eco story about looking after the planet and everyone on it. I'm Sticking With You, which is a funny feel-good story about the resilience of relationship, illustrated by Steve Small. Rain Before Rainbows, illustrated by David Litchfield, which is a story of finding hope in the darkest times and looking for joy and light and colour. And of course, The Little Island, illustrated by Robert Starling, a modern day fable set on a farm with some very grumpy geese. You may also know me as a shortlisted author for the SLA 2018 award for Ways of the Wolf with Jonathan Woodward. Until now I've been published solely under my full name Smriti Halls, but from this year 2020 I will be Smriti Halls for fiction and Smriti Halls for non-fiction. So, as you can probably tell, the characters in my books vary immensely. But the themes in my stories are often quite similar, and they're often concerned with identity, who you are, who you really are, how it feels to be in your skin, and how it feels to be in someone else's. And I write a lot about relationship, what it means to be in relationship with one another. Love, community, friendship, the ups and downs, the good and the bad, how we treat each other and how we deal with difficulty and disruption. And I write about the major issues of the day, not as a trend or a fad, but because these are the things that interest me as a person, as a human being, and they're what concern me most. And I write, I suppose, as a way of processing my thoughts. My books are always as much for me as for my audience, a way for me to engage with and grapple with things in the world that interest me most. I want to share a few thoughts with you today as we look out onto a world in lockdown, a situation we simply couldn't have imagined a year ago. In this country, few people of our generation will have grown up experiencing quite the extraordinary year that our children today have. The last 12 months have seen a tense, bitter, divisive period of deliberations as we left the EU. It was followed almost immediately by a shocking, bewildering global pandemic, the scale and impact of which we could never have conceived. And then on our television screens, we witnessed the murder of a person at the hands of the police, leading to outrage and unrest on both sides of the Atlantic. And all the while, our climate crisis is ever deepening. My goodness, after the year we've had, we are going to need books. We are going to need to be able to engage with children about some of the big things that have happened, to help them process and address these major world events on a personal level and a public one. We will need books to give us facts and statistics, books that can support us emotionally, books that can help to explore injustice, books that will inspire action, books that will help mend broken hearts, books that will give answers, and books that will, most of all, raise questions. I think that's why I feel so privileged to be a picture book author, because picture books have that rare quality of being able to speak into immensely difficult situations with power and disarming simplicity. They push boundaries, they challenge our views. I love the way picture books can open tricky, complex subjects and give us a way in. The way they can cut to the heart of the matter, stripping away the rhetoric to help us see and feel what's really happening, whether emotional, relational, ecological, political. What appeals to me most, I think, about writing in this medium is that it is an art form specifically designed to capture two audiences at once. I speak to both adults and children simultaneously when I write, and that feels like a huge privilege. I'm a great believer in the importance of talking to little people about big issues and using stories as a way in. To my mind, it's vital that children get the chance to explore ideas and ask all the questions they want to in the safe spaces of school and home, alongside friends, teachers, parents, librarians, not learning what they know from voices raised in anger or alarmist tabloid headlines. The issues of today are theirs tomorrow, and the more we make it possible for them to engage, the greater chance there is that they will be interested, involved, kind young people, empathetic, well-rounded, in touch with their humanity, true leaders for the future. I do realise that some feel we cause children to worry needlessly when we involve them in issues of our time, or that children aren't or perhaps shouldn't be interested in the big issues around us. But time and time again, children demonstrate their desire to take action and create positive change in the world. Just look at the way they're involved with the issue of climate change. When children care, they change things for the better. Sometimes I think they might do a better job than the adults currently in charge. So to those who feel that children should be protected from the big issues, who say, let children be children, let's respond, yes, absolutely. Let's let children be children. Let's allow them to be the intelligent, enthusiastic, funny, creative people that they are. And let's allow them to apply those qualities to all sorts of issues, all sorts of situations. Let's allow them to develop, to be shaped, educated, and informed through the pages of books. Let them discover worlds where broken down relationships can be mended, where bridges can be built and rebuilt. Let's empower them through the pages of books to become emotionally intelligent young people who can imagine and build a better, kinder, fairer world. Now, it did cross my mind that I should perhaps don an evening dress and toast you with a glass of wine just to get in the spirit of being at a dinner, a pretend dinner, a virtual dinner. But since it's actually very early in the morning and I'm recording this ahead of a day of homeschooling, I'm just going to stick to orange juice. But I do want to toast you with that. To all of you school librarians and all you do to help children access the books that will open their minds to adventure, experience, world issues, and make us all more empathetic, emotionally intelligent, engaged people. Here's to you. Cheers.